All right, we are rocking and rolling. Good morning. Good morning, Ponderers. How you doing out there in Pondering Land? If you're in central Connecticut, you're probably, well, if you're inside, you're okay. But if you've been outside, you're soggy. Soggy and cold. Yuck. Rainy. Blech. But you know what? It's warm, sunny, positive and encouraging here. This Wednesday, home day. Mike. Where's that camel? It is Wednesday, April the 8th. 2020, and it is a blessing to have you. Good morning, Tom. Tom's going to be joining us live in just a couple minutes to do a news update and chat about what's happening out there. Hope you guys are having a good week so far, staying healthy, staying safe, and all that good stuff. This is the Pondering Podcast and Radio Program where we ponder all things. We think things through, we talk about them. There are no holds barred on topics and subject matter here, but we come at it from an unabashedly, unashamedly, and unapologetically Christian perspective. We do it every Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can participate. We love that, actually. We love to hear from you. Good morning to Susie, who's participating by saying good morning and basically raising 3 cups of coffee to my 1, so that's all right. But you can jump into the live stream here on the Pondering Radio page of Facebook. And if you're listening by podcast via multiple podcast venues, Spreaker, Mixcloud, iHeart, iTunes, iHeartRadio, whatever it is, you are welcome to join in. Even though it may not be live, you may be listening on demand. You can go to the Pondering Radio page and comment 24/7, 365, as you can email. Same way. You can email us at ponderingradio, like one word, ponderingradio@gmail.com. And you can do that anytime you wish. And, there's a third alternative. If you like to, like me, you're not really a big one on typing and texting and all that when you don't have to, you are able to call. And you can call our studio number, which is 860-500-7163, 860-500-7163, and you can leave a message there around the clock. We will listen to it, I promise, within a few hours. And if it's something you want on the air and it sounds like it's newsworthy or worthy of airing, obviously, then we will play it, too. So, again, congratulations on making it halfway through the week and on being COVID-19 free, we pray and hope. There is some good news with regard to that. I'm going to save that because Tom may want to bring up a couple things, but we are, listen, let me give you a quick preview. Friday night, 7 o'clock, will be our Good Friday service, live streamed at the Lifeway Church Facebook page. And Sunday, we'll have our normal services posted for all of you. So please join in. Let me get Tom on here.
Hey, thank you so much for calling the rest of your resource group. I'm sorry there's no one here.
I think, Tom, you're going to have to call back because I didn't catch it fast enough. Are you there, Tom?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to call back. We got you. I think my answering machine kicked in before I could pick it up. By the way, good morning to Gwen as well. Great to have you here. And welcome to Tom Hanson, the official... Whoops. What happened? I don't know what happened. Are you still there, Tom? We lost him. Tom, we'll have to get you to call back in. Here we go. The blunders of modern technology. Are you there, Tom?
Yes. Good morning, Joel, and our fellow ponderers.
Awesome.
Everybody is doing well this morning.
Yes, and it's great to have you. And by the way, I was just saying, folks, Tom is the official news editor and historian of the Pondering Podcast and Radio Program. And Rick is saying hi. Fred is here. I think Jose is with us. Susie's with us. She says, good morning, Tom. So welcome, Tom. Once again, it's great to have you back on the program.
It is good to be here. Good morning, Susan, and anybody else I may have missed. I'm seeing the things come up on the right side of my screen. It's a wonderful morning down here in South Carolina. We're finally getting into some real good spring weather, and it's a lot warmer, so we're happy about that.
Yeah, so you got some sunshine. We have liquid sunshine today, but it was nice yesterday. Yesterday was beautiful.
We enjoyed that. Before I forget, you had a birthday this week?
There's a rumor going around to that effect, yeah. I kind of gave up having birthdays about 20 years ago, but apparently, according to the calendar, yes, I did turn another year older on Sunday.
How old are you? I think you're very young.
Well, thank you. You're a nice man. I owe you money. I will pay you. No, I am 58 now, and but I think 58 is the new 30 from what I heard. So I'm okay. I'm good.
Well, happy birthday again.
Thank you. Thank you. I told the church I was middle-aged, but I was stretching the middle a bit, you know.
Apparently not a whole lot of news going on other than the corona virus crisis. I really looked this morning trying to figure out something going on.
Oh, I know.
And there's just the whole world appears to have shut down. It was so funny. I don't know if Connecticut has these things like Amber Alert.
Yes.
And suddenly your phone goes berserk and this real loud screeching alarm. And I look at it and it says, "Stay home." Corona.
That was the Amber Alert, huh? Stay home, pal.
Yeah, but this is South Carolina. I didn't know they could do things like that, but
Yeah, we've had this new thing that started, and I don't know if it's everywhere in Connecticut or just our area, but the schools are putting together little parades with the teachers and administrators, office people in their cars, and they decorate the cars, and they have streamers, and they drive around the neighborhoods beeping with a police escort with sirens, so that the kids can come out and wave and see their teacher, and they put out little signs in the window, "We love you," etc. And it's really kind of cute. But the first time I heard it, I'm thinking, what in the world? Because I hear horns blowing and sirens going, and I'm like, what is going on? And it was local school, one of the local schools, greeting the children. So, by the way, Fred says good morning, and Wayne says good morning, and Fred wants to make my birthday a state holiday. Thank you, Fred. Appreciate that. Yeah. It was a holiday. It's Palm Sunday this year. That's good enough. That's good.
What an interesting week we're having. It looks like you all are doing church over the internet, which is what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different. Who would have thought, even last month, that all this stuff, or a month and a half ago, all this stuff would be going on in this world.
Yeah.
It's amazing. If I could mention something from my favorite news source, whenever I just don't understand something, I go to Hulk Hogan, the professional wrestler, was he? Or
yeah. Yes. The news according to Hulk Hogan. There we go. That's good, credible source. I'm with you.
I'm joking. It is from Hulk Hogan, but it's off Daily Wire. I think that's Ben Shapiro's website. And Hulk Hogan, it's actually a very good Christian comment. God has taken away everything we worship. And he posted this on Facebook on Monday. He said, in 3 short months, just like he did it with the plagues of Egypt, God has taken away everything we worship. God said, you worship athletes, I will shut down the stadiums. You want to worship musicians, I will shut down civic centers. You want to worship actors, I will shut down theaters. You want to worship money, I will shut down the economy and class, the stock market. You don't want to go to church and worship me, I will make it where you can't go to church. So I thought that was a very interesting way at looking at things.
Yeah, there's been a lot of comments and commentary around that idea, not just from Hulk Hogan but others. And so, from a theological perspective, we get into this debate of, well, did God do this to us, or did He allow it to happen to us based on either the enemy's attack or just our own foolishness and the result of being in a fallen world, having rejected God. I kind of come from the second school of thought, where I don't know that God said, gee, I think I'll give them coronavirus so that they can't go to movies. I would think more along the lines of this is a natural consequence of things and being in a fallen world, which is a consequence of sin ultimately, but not necessarily something God gave us. But is He using it? No question about it. I mean, we were talking about this in our meeting, our board meeting last night at the church. and I think it'll come up in the staff meeting today, we're building out this platform now for doing church online and beefing it up daily with different things and technology that we can implement. And it's been really a lot of work, and it's stretched our team and our lead pastor, Steve, to the hilt. But the result is powerful impact. I mean, hundreds more people being reached on a regular basis than we normally would. And we had people accept Christ Sunday online, from what I have understood. And there's, this. So we want to continue to develop that and use it long after this is over, because quite frankly, we're touching people even in other countries in some cases. So we want to be able to use it. But I always think of that phrase: "What the enemy intended for evil, God has used for good." And the Romans 8:28 promise that all things work to the good of the called according to His purpose. And so I think we're seeing that, and we're thankful for it as much as we want to see this virus end. But do I think God did that to take away those things? No. Did He use it? Yes. Is it good for us to lose those things so we can focus on Him and what matters more and appreciate each other more? Yes, because God works all things to the good, And I think that's kind of where I come from, because I think it's a slippery slope. We know there are examples in Israel where God, punished His people and used plagues and whatnot, no question. But He was very open about that when He did it. I think when we start assuming it, we're on a little bit of a slippery slope, because there are times we might attribute to Him things that were really either the enemy or just a natural consequence of our being in a world that's groaning and moaning for His return. So, for what it's worth, my thoughts.
I agree totally that we can't really claim that this is something that God sent.
Yeah,
He can certainly use it for His own good, and I can already see good coming out of it. I mean, I definitely want it to end.
Yeah,
we've got to get back to work and get our economy growing. I certainly hope we don't go back to the same world that I pray for revival, and I pray that God would use this to bring about revival.
Yeah.
Not saying that He necessarily sent it, but I'm where I'm sitting here. I'm about 2 miles away from Furman University, which was started as a Baptist university in, I think, 1828, and in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, it just went totally off the rails, totally anti-Christian place. And it's shut down now. I guess they are doing classes by internet and the like. But just to think of all the things that aren't happening now, bars aren't open on Fridays and Saturday nights. The governor of Florida told the spring breakers to go home.
Yep.
And all kinds of things have shut down. So I certainly hope that we think real hard about what we start up again and really learn from these lessons. I think there's a lot of things we really don't need.
Yeah.
And
amen. And I think we have to watch as we start to phase back into normalcy, and I think it will be a phased approach over the next few months. There are a couple things that I'm vigilant about that we should be praying about. One is that the progressive liberals do not use this as a tool, or not able to get away with using it as a tool to try to destroy President Trump and his agenda, claiming that, look, we're in trouble. We turned to the government bailed us out. See, this is why we need bigger government. This is why we need socialism. This is why we need Bernie or Joe or both or whatever. I could see that being a mantra that people might swallow. The other thing that I think about is, it's easy to not only depend too much on the government in cases like this, but create almost a police state. I read quickly an article this morning, and I didn't get to look at all the details or verify it. Maybe Tom, but it was a story of a man who was arrested and handcuffed in front of his 6-year-old daughter for playing t-ball in an open park. Now that's crazy. That's just beyond reason. So I hope we don't go there.
The freedoms that I agree with the lockdown in general, but some things are just going nuts, though, that it's way beyond
Yeah.
And plus just the government bailing us out. I mean, maybe this one time, but our country's already bankrupt. And I hope to get my check in the mail in a week or so. But this can't go on for long. We just don't have the money. And
well, like I said on the program sometime, like a few weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, I said, which would you rather have, a $1,200 check from the government or a job for the rest of the year, that would pay you thousands of dollars? And I think being able to move quickly toward reopening is wise. Now, again, understanding we don't want to be foolish, etc., but there's been some encouraging developments with regard to antibodies that can be used not just as a vaccination against corona, but as a treatment to cure corona that they say will be ready by the fall. I would love to see it sooner. But to me, you introduce something like that works and that we can prove works, boom, we're back in business like that. No one's going to care if they get it because they know they have a cure for it, right? So I would hope we can move quickly in that direction. I'd rather see that than the $1,200 checks, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, true. I'd like to quote something that Victor Hanson wrote. He's a conservative commentator, but he's a professor at Stanford University in California, probably one of the few conservatives who can be on campus there. He said some really neat things about the media. He wrote a lengthy article, but he said, while the current media is the logical culmination of the liberal biases of the more polite left-wing domination of network and print media of the late 20th century, it is now also far more vulnerable to exposure and ridicule. After all, it was progressive Silicon Valley's creation of the internet website and social media that have allowed truth to emerge past even media filters. Truth that has largely exposed the media as incompetent, mean-spirited, and increasingly irrelevant. And he's showing a great understanding of the media. I got my master's degree in journalism from Cal State Fullerton in 1995. That was the year my publication was going on the internet for the first time. If as I was going out the door in 1995, if I would have raised my hand and said, look, I just want to make a comment about where media is going, and read that statement, you would have thought I was nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Media filters were a big thing back then. If you're a gatekeeper at ABC, NBC, or CBS, you get to decide what we get to hear. But what we're doing here, you're the gatekeeper here. We can go all around that.
Yeah.
And
everybody's a news broadcaster. Everybody's a cameraman. Everybody's a commentator.
Yeah.
And there's, as long as we're wise about that, and that's why we do pondering in part, to make us think things through, right? As long as we do that, I think that's better, because it does keep the media in check. They're no longer the arbiters of truth. They can't tell us what to believe or not, and I think that's healthy.
If I would have said back then, also studying the agenda was a big thing that people studied. If I would have said, I think in 2018 there's going to be a president of the United States who's going to sit at his desk and use something called Twitter and totally set the agenda, the news agenda, and talk radio. Rush Limbaugh was already getting started then, but if I would have said he's going to set the agenda. I mean, I think my master's degree is somewhat worthless now, but I'm pretty sure it's all been rewritten. That media just totally is different than it was back then.
Well, what's interesting about a lot of our education and experience back in the day, Tom, you and I both, is that the skill sets we developed are still valuable and useful. The media itself that we use, the medium that we're on, may change. The rules change, but the skills are still there and need to be there and can be useful there. And I think that's what we're trying to do. And the same with the church. We're trying to adapt not what we preach, but how we preach it, where we do it. How do we reach? How do we connect too beyond the the platform, so to speak, of either playing a recorded sermon or doing a live stream message on a Sunday morning so that people can discuss it. One of the cool things that's really unique about the live stream is people can chat back and forth during the message. And that could be distracting, I suppose, and negative, but it can also be very positive, where, you know, someone says, hey, that's a great point. Yeah, I agree. I went through that last week. Look at this verse. Boom, boom, boom. You know, and that stuff is happening. And because most people are, you know, we live in an ADHD culture. Let's face it. I fit right in now. You know, I'm no longer the oddball. People can multitask and multiprocess. So they're reading those things while they're listening to the preacher, while they're looking at the screen with the, you know, whatever graphics are there. And I think it's almost like we're super loading the message in a way we couldn't before, and there's interaction around it. But we're trying to create other things too. You know, I do my life group tonight completely online through Zoom, and we're all little boxes, little talking heads, you know, like Hollywood squares on the screen. But we interact, we talk, we joke, we go back and forth. We get to see people's cats and dogs. But, you know, we're trying to develop all that, but I think the long-term effect could be that we now have multiple ways to reach people that we would never have reached. And not just, I don't mean just we at Lifeway Church, I'm talking any church, all Christians. People who are shut-ins, people who are in parts of the world where they can't worship openly, but they can get on the internet at a cafe, you know, things like that, which that's exciting to me. So.
Yeah, we're doing Sunday school on Zoom, and it's a lot of fun seeing videos of everybody. And I've got to get George, my cat, to go to Sunday school next time. I mean, it's so neat. We can see each other in our homes. We, you know, don't generally get to other people's homes. My family doesn't really get out and about that much, but it is. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And we do church on YouTube, and we have question and answer afterwards. But our pastor said, you know, it's real unnerving. He doesn't like speaking to an empty room, and he's got 5 kids, and I think all of them brought their puppets, put him on the first 2 rows, just so he could feel like he's talking to somebody.
I find the same thing. I'm so used to the interaction with the audience, you know, joking, teasing, back and forth. But without that, it's kind of hard. And it's funny because I do radio and it doesn't bother me. But it's a different thing when you're preaching and you're looking for that feedback because you're not doing what we're doing now, having a conversation necessarily ever. But it's, you know, we're getting used to it. We're getting there. I felt awkward during the sermon last Sunday, and then I watched it, and I realized, okay, it wasn't as bad as it felt. You know, you know, my mom used to joke when you get nervous. She'd say, "Just pretend everybody's in their underwear." And I used to say, "Mom, that's not going to help. That'd be worse." But it's almost you almost feel like you're up there in your underwear. You know, like there's nobody responding. You tell a joke, and it's, you know, crickets. You know. But it's you kind of get used to that and realize, okay, that's not. And then and again, when you watch it later and you see the stream, people are laughing, putting up little emojis and you know, whatever. So that shows you there's interaction. You know.
That is nice. I mean, I get so paranoid when somebody yawns. I get rather paranoid whenever I do something like that. But I mean, it is a lot of fun. For us, it's been a pleasant break with our battles with autism. It's not getting out the door in the morning, just getting there. So
right,
we've actually enjoyed a bit of a break. I mean, it'll be nice to get back.
Right. No, I'm with you there. There's something to be said for the peace of not having to dash out the door every day, and let alone Sunday. Susie says she was still heckling me when I was preaching. Thanks, Susie. I'm glad. I'd feel really bad if that wasn't happening. I'd be worried. Yeah, you were talking about people yawning, Tom. I don't mind that so much. It's when they lie down across the rows of chairs and start snoring that really bothers me. You know, I always said if you took all the people that have fallen asleep during one of my sermons and laid them end to end, they'd be a lot more comfortable. I mean, you know, that's.
I still remember when my speech club director yawned that doesn't help much.
No. Fred just posted last Sunday half the people were in their underwear. Well, that's true. They're watching from home. They don't care. I guess that's true. But no, hey, Tom, before we get finished here, we're about out of time. I just wanted to ask if you make anything or have any thoughts about the change in White House press secretaries here in the last day or so. I took it as basically the current press secretary, her name just left me, wants to go back to serving as chief of staff for the First Lady, and that's about the end of it. But maybe there's more to it. I don't know. Do you have thoughts on that?
I only really saw the headline. I don't really know anything more about that. I wouldn't wish that job on my worst enemy.
Oh, me either. Yuck.
So I think whenever somebody leaves a job, I'm always worried that they got fired or they weren't doing their job well.
Right.
I'm glad that she's able to go ahead and do her job elsewhere. I mean, the pressure in the White House, especially as the press secretary, is enormous.
Mm-hmm.
Because the press, the only thing they want to do is catch the president or the press secretary saying something stupid.
Right.
And so I hope she's still in good favor, and I hope the new person does real well. And I'm glad Sarah Sanders was able to go to Arkansas and not have to do it anymore. She did a really good job.
Yeah, she was wonderful.
It's so neat because conservatives and Republicans aren't rolling over and playing dead anymore.
Yeah.
And we talk back.
Yeah.
We saw that in the 2016 campaign. Ted Cruz was that way, and certainly President Trump. And it's just so neat. We've got a free press, but we don't have to lay down and take it all the time.
Well, and I would hope the press would learn from this. When you and I were working together, it was get the facts, get the facts. We even had a speech at Spokesman Club we had to do called Get the Facts. And it was all about who, what, when, where, why, how. That's it. Present it. There you go. You're done. That's a news article. Today it's get the faults. Find the faults. Find something evil. Find something bad. Find something that's destructive and point that out. And that's it. Facts are irrelevant, or they're secondary to finding a fault or projecting one in any leader that you don't like and try to tear them down. And that's just not only unchristian. It's just it's unproductive. It's unproductive. It's unhelpful, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But anyway, we are out of time. Unfortunately, Tom will have to do this again soon. Listen, happy Easter to you and your family. Have a blessed weekend, and we will keep in touch. All right.
Sounds fantastic. God's blessings on all of you.
Thanks, Tom. Bye for now. And Ponderers, listen, thanks for joining us today. Don't forget, you can comment anytime here on our Pondering Radio page and listen to and watch past episodes, as well as via multiple podcast venues. Don't forget to join us Friday night for Good Friday service at Lifeway Church at lifewaych.com or the Lifeway Church Facebook page. Same Sunday morning, 9:30 and 11:15 a.m. We look forward to having you and being with you there as well. But we'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell your friends, neighbors, and all your complete strangers you happen to encounter, which should be none if you're social distancing. But you can tell them online to join us. We would love to have them. Stay in the Word, keep praying, and keep pondering. We'll see you tomorrow.